Hello. It is Tuesday, March 24th, and this is about 3 days after I shot the last video. And we're just going to take a quick walk and see what's changed a little bit. And I'll try and swing the camera just a little bit less. I know when I was looking at my last video, it made myself sick. But we're going to go ahead and look through here. First of all, today's just a perfectly gloomy day. There's a part in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the last book in the Harry Potter series, where Cornelius Fudge goes to meet with the British Prime Minister, and he says, "Sorry about all the fog. The Dementors are breeding." And that's just kind of the way today's been all day long here. I waited to try and get some sunshine, but no such luck. So I went through and I fluffed up the hay around the asparagus. I was just a little concerned that it might have been packed a little tight. It was put on in December, and it tends to, longer it's there, the more it packs down and stops things from growing through. So I just wanted to make sure that the hay was loose enough that the asparagus could get through. And came over here and we pulled back the mulch off of the sweet potato bed, and we got some sweet potato tubers that we had left in the ground last year, and we're going to see if we can't get any shoots off of those. The dogs got in here, went running after a mole that had been living in the patch, but we'll see what happens there. If they come up here in the next few days, they're supposed to get nice and warm, so we should see some shoots off of them right away. If not, the experiment's failed. No biggie. You learn something when you fail at something. So yeah, there we go. And down here we got some little carrot seedlings coming up. You can see them right there, and there's quite a few of them through there. But back in the back part of the garden over here, I cleared out most of those turnips, and I'm just going to go back in and I'll reseed turnips. Turnips grow like weeds here. You can just throw seed on the ground and they're just going to grow, so I'm not that worried about it. But back here we moved some of the weed blocker. We moved up a little bit to this area that had a bunch of stuff, and I didn't do anything for turning over what was underneath here. I didn't pull up the weeds that were underneath here. I just put the plastic down. It's going to be a full season, probably. It'll be midsummer or later before I pull this up and use what's here, so I'm not that worried about it. Before I put the plastic down, I went and got some chicken manure from the hen house, and I spread that around, so that'll have some time to age in there, and it'll be ready for plant for the fall garden. So this is preparing for stuff that we can put in the fall, probably the fall potatoes or something. But then over here we got some rows that we put in, and put in beans. And because I wanted to make sure, I've only put sowed one bean every foot. I wanted to make sure that I had a chance of good germination and thinning out. So I actually went into the trench and sowed a bean. Here's the hill here, and then I sowed one bean into the trench beside it, and that way I can pick the best one of those two plants and thin out the other one. And so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of some black beans here, and then over here those are red kidney beans, and both of those are bush style beans. They'll grow bush style, and so I don't have to put any stakes or anything out for them. Over here, the next few days are supposed to be really nice and warm, so I'm hoping that I can get a jump start on some corn. I put some corn in here. It's actually some seed that was left over from last year, so it's early enough that if it fails, it's not a big deal. I can go in, chop it up, and reseed it. And so that's pretty much ready to go. This back corner over here, I did scrape away, and all I did right here was just scrape away the weeds that were coming up. This was pretty well clean still from last year. The only thing I had growing there was this I don't know what this is called, but it grows. It's really, really easy to pull up, and it's not that big of a nuisance unless you let it get big. It's hard to clean up when it's small, but once it gets a little size to it, you just pull it right up. And but I went through and I pulled all that up right there, scraped that away, cleaned up next to the fence. And so this is ready on this side of the fence. I got to go in and clean up the other side of the fence, but I can put some cucumbers or some pole beans or something along there. I got cucumber and seed tray, so we might end up doing that. We'll see what happens. And then back here, I pulled all of last year's melon weed blocker up, cleaned underneath it, and put down a little bit of manure just over the surface, and just kind of raked it in a little bit. Didn't put too terribly much effort into prepping underneath here. Last season it was manured really, really well, and so it should still have a lot of vibrancy to it. But I did move it so that the plants won't be growing in the exact same place, and I've shortened it just a little bit. And I will be putting squash and zucchini up here, and then my cantaloupes will go down here. And yeah, and I'm gonna have to put the orange glow. Usually I grow orange glow watermelon. I have to put that somewhere else. But this whole bed right along the edge, along this fence line, up towards the plastic, will be potatoes. Just a big long row of potatoes going all the way down. I might have enough to do 2 rows. We'll see what we got. And might be able to poke them in over here too. But that is, that's the update and the changes. And certain added a lot to the compost heap over here. And looking forward to seeing some potatoes. Oh, and right up here we put some Jerusalem artichokes in. And if I had realized that I had as many as I did, I would have sent some up there for you. But enjoy. Hope you guys are doing okay, and we'll see everybody again soon. Bye-bye.